Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday. Or, as Beach informed me earlier, Two Soup Day. Which I'm gonna go with until it gets warmer. While it's chilly outside, Two Soup Day is a good idea to me. I like soup as chilly. And it's a day. Yeah. So we're on stream 3 of Pyre. We have rescued Rookie. Ooh, chili, yeah. I mean, chili's just thick soup. It's been a really good day for me. I got up super early, not early enough to watch Pokemon live, which is fine. 6 a.m. is too early for that, but I get up at 7 a.m. and I ignored the internet until I found the thing. And I get to be excited because I liked Pokemon Legends. Also kind of happy it's not coming out until 2025. They need to spend more time on their games. This, I think this is the new page. The accusers formed under Galathanian. He is a big man. He values justice, loyalty, steadfastness. Galathanian is a mouthful to say. He says that the accusers take their name from one of his most accomplished legions, from his former military days. All among them, in fact, served the Master General at one time. They represent the stoutest-hearted people of the Empire, who held true to Myrrh and Galathanian to the end. The golden colors of their raiments are reminiscent of their old shining armor, is his claim. Ever shall they seek out those with the truest spirits and strongest sense of purpose to replenish their ranks. This is all shiny. Okay, that's just because that's the page I'm on. Got it. Yeah, I was very excited for Pokemon today. I mean, the mobile stuff was very quick-paced, which was nice. Oh, this is where I get to see all of the stats I'm gonna probably ignore. And then they talked about Pokemon Legends briefly. And it looks like it's gonna be Gen 6. So that's neat. I might want to go actually play X and Y. I think I skipped that one, but I believe I have a copy of either, I think the remake, maybe? Maybe. I think I've mentioned it before, but I have this bad habit of buying video games and then not playing them because there are other video games, and Pokemon definitely suffers from that. Tizu has seems somewhat less cheerful since his run-in with Lendl and the accusers. He approaches you, wanting you to hear him out. He seems unhappy about something Lendl said to him. He understands full well why Lendl is angry with him. While Tizo does not like Lendl as a person, he recognized nonetheless that he denied his freedom. It was a libertarian right. Liberation. Excuse me. It was a liberation right. He did what he felt necessary. He wanted to help his friend go free. Nonetheless, he still feels a certain guilt and regrets that the rights forced exiles into such situations. He falls silent for a while. Whether the 8 scribes ever intended for imps such as he to participate in the rites firsthand is difficult to know for certain. Then, he's grateful for you listening. He knows the scribes created the rites with good intentions. Did they, though? Did they really? I'm not so sure I agree with what we've heard. He promises to keep doing his best to live up to the legacy of the scribes. Well, I guess maybe the scribes did. I don't know. This whole system seems a little broken. He bounds up into the rafters with some of the other drive imps. Regardless of whether he truly is a descendant of Hub, the Swallow, surely the scribes would have been proud of him. Alright. Let's keep the journey going. Right, I forgot we can fly now. It's... You may earn Stardust. Yeah, okay, let's earn Stardust. You return to the dismal region known as Flagging Hands. Straight away you sense an air of dread, yet cling to hope that you may take your stay as brief as possible. You and your fellow exiles have time to yourselves before the day is done. Nonetheless, the dismal environs soon take their toll on everyone. You know what they say about good intentions? Yeah, eat them. Before they go stale. Oh, the Beyonder Crystal seeks Headwind, does it? Okay, got a new page. Gotta eat all your good intentions before you're allowed any other ones. Gaining the summit of the sacred Mount Alodiel involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery in varying proportion. The mountain's energies were palpable. The sensation that we felt indescribable. The lands we stood upon were closer to the stars than to the world we knew. It was upon this highest point in all of the downside that we first made efforts to concoct this tomb, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with a vision of the cycle of rites, and felt together, for the first, a sense of freedom, unlike any we experienced before. But that is a subject which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. Alright, orb. You died as strictly drab things only? That's fair. We have a trial. We have a trial for her, Headwind. What do we have on you? Yeah, that seems okay. This is probably fine. You must mean that Nomad boy. So innocent, that one. I should have a lot of work to do with him. Hey, what's going on? We're gonna put you in a trial thing. And then you'll get a fun item, probably. You are a fool. Do not talk back to me. Reliance on your friends is such a burden upon them. Let us see what you can do without their aid. Save for that of your lovely reader. Really? That one's usually okay. Oh, okay. Well, that was not great. Bearcat, hey, thank you for that 63-month resub. Oh, right, your aura was touching the thing. Dang it. Okay, it's clear I haven't used Headwind a lot. This is not going super well. Okay. No! Oof. Ouch. I'm just getting hit super hard here. Come on, come back, come back. Haha! Finally. Had to do that a lot more, but okay, just once more. Worked out in the end. We did it. Oh, Sandra's favorite. Alright, what do we end up getting? Gull's Bracer. Headwind power casts his aura with greater ease, gains infinite stamina on hit for 2 seconds. Alright. I suppose we can give that to you. Follow the lone minstrel in pursuit of what you came to find. The bog dwellers of Flagging Hands are some of the only creatures that can stand it here, and even they, just barely. This particular region is the agricultural heart of the area, but as you can see, there is little left to harvest. Perhaps, though, you can help them plant a stronger crop. The lone minstrel leads you to a sad little patch of mud. He leans down and speaks into the earth. Hail, O bog dweller. I have brought to you a reader. Please tell her what you need. Some sort of creature shambles forth. With broken hands, it points you to a collection of foul seeds and simple garden tools. It is work familiar to you, and to your surprise, the soil is rich and fertile. Grains and other crops could grow. The planting job proves simple enough. It is almost a relief from all your travels. It is a modest effort on your part, yet the bog dweller seems elated. As much can be said of such a creature. It insists on paying you for your assistance. A bunch of stardust. I think it's this one I've been putting. Yeah. So that should take out all your stamina. Being here in Flagging Hands continues to sap most of everyone's spirits. Yeah, take all your hope away. A messenger imp with news and rumors from the other side comes huffing toward your wagon. You're in the darkest corner of Flagging Hands. You let it in and offer it some light refreshment, as Ruki would have done. The imp's message turns out to be about him. You learn Ruki's past transgressions have all been forgiven since his return to the Commonwealth. Oh, I wasn't expecting we'd get news of our passed over friends. He was even offered a well-appointed home and place of business. It must have represented just the kind of lavish lifestyle that Ruki always claimed to have had for himself and his extended family. Eventually, and somewhat reluctantly, however, he refused the gifts. Instead, he tracked down Volfred's agents and gave them ample information, thus emboldening their ranks. The last bit of the message sounds as though it was transcribed word for word from something Rookie said. It simply reads, "The rest of you better get back here soon, or else." You thank the messenger imp for the report. Soon it has all your companions talking. Ah, the noble Rookie. He sets a shining example unto us all. It seems that Greentail had himself a conscience after all. Don't you think he must be sad to have turned down a house? I hope he isn't sad. Tizo is happy to learn that Rookie joined the revolution. The days aren't quite so bright without him, though sounds like he's doing well out there. Hard to believe he would have turned down living in that kind of luxury, though maybe he got used to it out here. The news of Rookie's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. The messenger imp accepts some scraps to eat from you and rushes off. We gain some hope back. I honestly expected the game would just kind of have us pushing people over to the other side and then never tell us if it worked out. Like, you're not supposed to really know if things work or not. So it's kind of cool to see. I wish to be remembered not for boastfulness, thus I refrain from detailing our exploits across the land, save to say that they were numerous. Know that only through our combined strength of arms and wit did we withstand this savage land. Such were the monstrous dangers that it posed. I came to see that all the terrors which I heard at bedside in my youth were based entirely in fact. So great they were, they blotted out the sky. Such was the evil that we vanquished, that the remnants of it yet shine under the stars, and in the end it was the stars which guided us toward our truest calling. If there is one celestial landmark in which I would never wish to tread, unless, of course, the stars beseech me to, it has to be the pit. 'Twas dark in there beyond all reckoning. If not for Milith's sorceress lantern, we all would have been lost. What lies within the pit is not to be invoked, although I have no doubt our goodly Underking shall be unable to prevent himself from boasting of how Milith sealed it there for an entire age. The thing yet lies there on the edge of death. Through its connection to the stars, it gives the pit significance. Walk there with courage and a steady mind. Alright, and anything we can do... What's this? Burning Promise. After dousing the adversary's pyre, the bearer earns a reward to 3 times plus 5. It's not bad. What was I kind of saving up for that? Oh, the scoop of dust is expensive. I still have a bunch of stardust too, so... Well, maybe it does make sense to buy this. Everything is set for the rite to commence, and all is quiet. Amid the gloomy hollows at the pit of Milith, all there is left to do is wait for nightfall to set it. You observe Sir Gilman sliding back and forth. You sense something is weighing on his mind. This night is not a night at all. This night betrayed his former commander, abandoned his brethren of the Sea Dominion. But what is knighthood even? What is knighthood, even if it means having to follow such a craven as the Sieur de Luge? Cease this nonsense, Gilman. Focus on the right. He notices you finally. Oh, Master Reader, this knight did not see you there just now. Such was his preoccupation with the task at hand. Know that this knight stands prepared. He has no misgivings whatsoever when it comes to battling his ex-team. Please consider letting this knight participate, for he has an honor to restore. Then a glimmering within the sky draws you and his attention.
Hear me, you exiles of the Night Wings. The 8 scribes summon you to the pit of Melith. The
Yep,
triumvirate you stand against shall be the Pyre Hearts. Extinguish now their pyre, and glory shall be yours. Now prepare yourselves.
Gilman, still not abandoning your friends like all your other duties and responsibilities? Sir Deluge wrestles with his mask for a time. This knight is most surprised that you have the courage to even show yourself. You speak of courage, Sir Deluge, but this knight has little else to say to the likes of you. Oh, that figures, Gilman. You are no knight at all. You are a teensy minnow swimming in a sea of minnows many, many times your size. And with much more honor, too. Then something comes over Silver Gilman. But just as soon it fades, Sir Gilman slinks away. Disgraceful! You Nightwings, you were stupid to have taken that one in, and you are no good at the rights. And another thing, we do not fear you.
Who shall conduct this rite?
Okay. Well, I think we will put you in. Let's give you... Sure, let's give you the new thing we just bought. I cannot put that on there.
Sir Gilman.
You.
Tizo. Nay.
Terios?
The choice is cast.
Those Pyre hearts are so cruel to our friend Gilman. I don't think that should be allowed. Come then, Nightwings. Show this knight how you defend the honor of that miserable minnow whom you harbor and guard.
Now begin. Ho. Such chaos.
Wow.
Best laid plans do oft go awry. 'Tis what the scribes ordain. Ho! Sinners! Ah, yes. All of the Nightwings vanished. Your pyre weakens. Their pyre weakens. Now then. Verily. Do you believe you can prevail in this? May douse the flame.
Just make it quick and painless on this night, because this looks like it's over for us, pretty much.
That craven Sir Deluge, doubtless using exile as a means of shirking military service. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail. 'Twas the will of the 8 scribes which kept their flame alive.
Sure. And not any of the work that I
The
did.
right is done.
Curse you, Gilman. You were a fool to abandon us, and now you only twist the dagger in our backs. You still do not seem to understand, Sir Deluge. This knight is no longer beholden to the likes of you. This knight is bound only by the path toward enlightenment. Your words ring false. You are unfit to lead. Shut up. You know exactly what you are, Gilman. You called this knight a craven, yet your courage is a mere facade, and everybody knows, this knight shall see to it. Sir Gilman does not respond, although you sense the words of Sir Deluge got to him.
There is much to learn from this experience. Desperate for honor, this Sir Gilman may yet learn something.
Alright, what do we have? If Sir Gilman and all his allies are banished, he shall instantly return. After Sir Gilman banishes an adversary, one of his banished allies shall instantly return. I think this
The
one's
might
safer.
of the sea sojourner. Until the stars align.
I thought I was going to lose that one for a while. After overcoming the Pyre hearts with a plum, the time has come for you to search the stars again and determine where next they shall take you. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. Okay, so if we go here, we fight... Oh, the dog had a really good theme song. And then there's that angry one. I mean, they're all kind of angry. Alright. No, we're gonna go fight, this one. You are to face the dissidents again, led by the cur called Barker Ashpaws. Yes, that was his name. I believe you first confronted them soon after my awakening. I understand they caused much trouble in the past. He then shares with you what his has heard about your next opponent. There we go. Barker Ashpaws, a vile, volatile cur whose pack, the Dissidents, conduct the rites more so for the thrill than freedom. Back on the other side, Barker never quite took to the culture of the Commonwealth, and often ran afoul of the law for various acts of boorishness or vandalism. He always promised to go straight, and in time he found a certain niche, for he was an accomplished hunter. And the people of the Commonwealth did have an appetite. Barker relished the hunt more than anything, and spent his earnings on a variety of questionable things. Mostly boglins, for some reason. One particularly raucous evening, Barker was caught relieving himself on the foot of the statue of Archjustice Androbels IV, Grand Judge who, in 1617 AS, issued a decree prohibiting literacy in answer to growing unrest. And that was the end of his citizenship. In the downside, he caught the notice of the dissidents, who observed his speed, ferocity, and fearlessness. He soon became the best of them. Barker's reputation grew among the exiled curs of the Jamir Valley region, where he is feared and unafraid of taking what he wants. This Barker Ashpaws is motivated to prevail at any cost, so best deal with him with caution. Anyhow, let us resume our travels at daybreak. Rest well until then, reader. You wish the lone minstrel a restful evening in turn. It is too late to take flight, though tomorrow you can press on. Pyre hearts all follow in the path forged by the Underking Ors, whose many mighty deeds exceed the smallest stature that somehow contained him. His is the most spirited triumvirate. Virate? Their courage, unfaltering, their hearts full. They live always with vigor, and perhaps they die with it as well. They are the Underking's own kind, as at home above the sea, as in it, never ceasing, ever longing, as they do, for something more. The Underking chose wisely for these qualities, and teaches that a life devoid of passion is a life devoid of life itself. That burning passion is the fuel that drives the Pyre hearts, and in turn us all. You'd have thought he'd been sent away for something more sinister, but instead of peeing on a statue. I'm glad they add some fun to it. But yeah, I agree. It does seem like, I don't know, he's very anarchist feeling. Sir Gilman is in a contemplative mood. He has been rather quiet, at least more than usual, ever since his confrontation with Sir Deluge. He notices you there and slides forth in a solemn manner. This night, he knows what he shall do now, when all this is over, Master Reader. We Worm Knights, we all are born and raised to prove ourselves superior to all the other billions of our kind, to lead our lives, however short, with glory. From the moment we shove past our wormling brethren in their egg sacks to the very end, we are conditioned to excel, to prevail at all costs. This relentless pursuit of glory, of fame, of self-worth, it leads most of this knight's kind only to an early doom, or in the case of Sir Deluge, it leads to a life of falsehood. A life of low deceit, abusing one's fellow worm knights, shirking one's responsibility, living in constant fear. This knight cannot abide his former commander, yet pities him. There must be more to honor than to lead a life engulfed in endless conflict. Then he looks at you intently. This knight shall ever seek that honor out, when all of this is ended, Master Reader. Thus he vows to you, and he is ever grateful that your guidance led him to this new awakening. But until such time, this knight is duty-bound unto the Nightwings. This the fulfillment of our plan, and our pursuit of freedom is to be his final quest. For what awaits him afterward is no mere quest. The honor that this knight has sought, it cannot be fully achieved through knighthood, can it? It requires something more. I trust you understand. He slithers off, his head held high, though not merely in pride. Something has changed in him. Ooh. 2 presents permanently. Well, good for him. Being here in the Flagging Hands continues to sap most everyone's spirits. -1 hope. Well, time to leave. As you soar above the waters of Wormgulf, you notice Sir Gilman sidle up to you very slowly. We are very, very, very high above the waters. If this knight is not mistaken, this knight's brethren lurk beneath the surface there, in numbers untold. Fortunately, if we were to come crashing to the surface now, then this knight, why, he would receive a watery burial in the custom of his kind. Yeah, he really doesn't like heights. The hulk of oars has drifted here upon the sea for longer than one might expect. Perhaps you've already read of the doomed ship's demise in the embrace of the unfathomed plurns. Some say it was the sea itself which preserves the ship's remains. Hidden properties within the water, sea creatures binding together, ruined planks of wood. Those such as yourselves and the dissidents know another truth, I gather. The stars would not align over the wreckage if it did not have greater significance than first appears. May you have good fortune here during the coming rite. Okay, we can go here. Jesus seems enthusiastic about something. Here, May thinks a thing will happen. And Ametha says she can sway the coming rite against the dissidents in your favor here. Sure, let's find out what that means. You touch down at the Sea of Solace, where you first encountered Sir Gilman and the Pyre Hearts. You soon shall carry on by sea, though for now you have some time to spare. Beyond a shallow, sickly gulf, our voyage grew increasingly forbidding and much harder to explain. How could a sea exist here at the bottom of the world? We could not deduce whence sprang the carcasses of ancient sailing ships we found throughout the Sea of Solace, though the warnings that they signified we duly noted. It was here we first met Oris, called the Underking, Oris, who brazenly assaulted our small skiff, for we had trespassed in his waters. But then the Underking relented, for he witnessed Solium Mur in all his doom and glory. Soon he would side with us. Then with the Underking we sailed forth into a tempest beyond reasoning or measure. Let's go instill some fear. You do your best to keep up with Pamitha as she delves into the immeasurable depths of ragged rock. She indicates that some of her winged sisters may be nearby to lend their aid. This is as far as you can follow, reader darling. Please excuse me for a little while. She swoops off, leaving you on your own. Some time passes, during which you can almost feel the downside encroaching all around you. And then... Well, that was certainly interesting. I suggest we get out of here. It would appear the dissidents soon will have a little accident that should dampen their spirits. They shall suffer -3 hope. You find Pamitha by herself again, though her expression has grown darker than her custom. Leave me be, would you? Trying to get some good and proper moping done here and you're distracting me. Leave me be, reader. Just leave me be. You don't want to know what's lurking in my heart or mind. What you'll find there isn't pretty. Yet something about her thought process is different to you now. You know that, with her conditioning, she can resist your scrutiny, but now her thoughts are laid bare to you. Now, let's see what she's thinking. Pamitha seems to be inviting you into her thoughts. You remain there in that lonesome space with her. What is it going to take, I wonder, Pamitha? Shall I just go ahead and kill them all? That would be proof enough, perhaps, about my loyalties to you and to our sisters. Perhaps I ought to start this one right in front of me. The bond between you suffers as Pamitha opens her eyes and stares at you. Then she smiles sweetly and gives a gentle laugh. You see, my thoughts are rather cumbersome at times. But do not fear, I have them very well under control. Still, thoughts being the lonesome thing they are, I nonetheless cannot fully suppress them. She exhales and looks askance. You know by now why I'm in this mess with you all. You could say I lacked Tamitha's sense of commitment, her zeal. She lives only to see your nation overthrown, or something worse if she could have her way. Centuries of conflict can be quite emboldening that way, especially when one's sister's leading cause of death is Commonwealth forged to steel. Wield with utmost of mercy, of course. Well, I had a little patience for the senselessness of it myself. Became a bit of a pariah, I suppose. I knew Tamitha was going to get herself and the others killed someday, so when she was to fly out on this one big mission of hers, I had other arrangements made. But after she was caught, your people did not exactly uphold their end of the bargain. I knew there were such risks, of course, and yet a chance is still a chance. Tamitha was clipped and cast down. A mercy, they called it. I did not see it that way, and in my growing protests of her treatment, I was soon enough to follow. She falls silent for a while. I haven't yet decided if I entirely regret my actions, but I do seek Tamitha's forgiveness, and I wish that she could see my thoughts for what they are, as it seems you can. Then she might realize our nation's people have much more in common than she knows. Sometimes I wonder which of them's the stupider. She brushes past you and out of the wagon for now. En route to the hulk of ores, the wagon comes to a sudden halt. That does it. I am leaving. The cause of Jodariel's outburst soon becomes apparent. Well, reader, at least some of us know how to take a joke, wouldn't you say? Look, she was reminiscing once again about her soldier days, and I just happened to point out I may have suggested the fiery destruction of the Spiral Sanctum happened on her former unit's watch. I mean, didn't it? Not that she would have made such much of a difference had she been there herself. She ought to thank the saint that she was spared by her exile here. I thought she held no love for your Commonwealth. I shall not ever understand what it is your people ever saw in that dreadful place, but I guess I hit a sore spot. I guess I should apologize. She swoops off. There is no sign of either of them. You organize a small search. It proves fruitless, but then Jodariel returns, alone, as if nothing happened. She's back to her calm self. Let us continue. I regret the interruption. Pamitha soon comes back as well. Oh, don't worry. I've definitely patched up things between us. At least I think perhaps I didn't make things worse. She returns to her business in the wagon. You make ready to resume your travels, but make a note to follow up with them. We rid the land of an impending doom, but faced another of its kind, for we knew that we were trapped. Yet for each danger which we faced, for every failed ambush by Arch, we met with gentle souls and kindred spirits in the downside, who deserved more than to fade from memory within this land. It was then the stars themselves showed us the way, delineating a great voyage across the seas. Near broken we became, but then at last a moonlit vision, that of the rights. Thus shall they say of us, the 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours. The Book of Rights, when do I get the Book of Wrongs? Well, I assume I gotta finish reading the Book of Rights before I can get to Book 2. And then at some point, maybe I get the Book of Maybes. The Daz Raban was first of many river ships to vanish in the downside, although presumptions of its loss were not inaccurate. The doomed ship and her valiant crew had charted half the Sea of Solace ere the end of their brave voyage. The sea titan, Unfathomed Plurance, was not fond of vessels sullying her sea, and split the doomed ship with a single swipe. The ship's own shattered prow would later end the sea titan's cruel reign, as the boastful Underking loves to recount. The stars themselves must have been moved by this. That point within the sea, now sacred, has the stars dancing in homage every now and then. I personally can't wait till we get to the reference section books. Oh, right, there was a person to talk to in there. You find Pamitha in the midst of a heated conversation. All I'm saying is we're limiting not only our chances individually, but all our friends' chances as well. Embrace the path of the book nerd. I think to do that I have to read the entire Wheel of Time series, don't I? Jodariel seems to be considering whatever it is that Pamitha proposed. Reader, the harp here is suggesting that perhaps it would be best if I were to form an alliance with the ones whom I fought for the better part of my life. Just with me, Jodariel. I can outvouch for anybody else. How utterly absurd. If we were in the Commonwealth, I would not have stayed my hand against her. That I can say for certain. However, as Hedwyn would say, what happened back there, perhaps none of that matters anymore. And what matters more is what we do from here. That is to say, I'm willing to give it a shot. You mean you would be willing to conduct the rites with me? Yes. Oh, I knew that you would come around. Thought she'd never come around, but I ought to give her the benefit of the doubt here. I'm grateful for your open-mindedness. No need to let old enmities between our ancestors ruin things between us. Or the others in our little party, for that matter, after all. Do not push it with me, Harp. We shall see if the reader here is thus inclined to pair us in the calming rites. I am willing to defer to them. I mean, probably not. I don't really like using Jadariel. She's slow. Pimith is fine, but not my favorite. Anyway, you see, I think I managed to make amends there. Doubtless we'll get on swimmingly in no time. Now willing to conduct rites together. Well, let's hope for the best. What do we got? Moon Serum. +4 presence. +4 quickness. +4 hope. Alright. Though the now familiar surroundings of the hulk of ores made preparations faster than before, the stars are already aflame by the time you and the others are gathered. The raid against the distance is commencing soon. Please be ready. Shouldn't be a problem. Always good to stretch my wings. You wish them all good fortune in turn. Little else is said, and together you watch the celestial harmony in calm and silence, and await the dissidents. Something else catches your notice in the sky. This time, strange new stars shimmering about the ones you recognize. The greater titans have returned. Some of them, and merely in spirit, not in form. But those dark stars are portentous sign. Though they may light your way, beware the path which they illuminate. Henceforth you may invite the influence of the Titan stars. Omens in the night sky, each representing one of the downside's mythical monstrosities. Use the Titan stars for a greater challenge.
Behold, the Titan stars.
At the start of this rite, your Pyre shall automatically suffer -30. Rank up faster. The adversary shall have +8 hope, making them return sooner after banishment. Adversaries shall be more cunning and much quicker to react. We could probably take the 30 damage.
The widow.
Sure. Let's see what it does.
The Titan stars. Burning remnants of monstrosities felled by the scribes themselves. Dare you to stand against them in their fury? Dark is the knowledge that you seek there, reader.
I'll get a
Just
light.
focus on your adversaries, keen as they are to confront you once again. Put out their pyre first, and show them the glory of the Night Wings. Now then, make ready for the rite!
Smell that, mates? Looks like we're gonna have to take this one a little serious this time. That's right, because they ain't got Greentail clogging up their ranks no more. He's back home now with his dear old mom where he belongs. Right time you Nightwings dumped the deadbeat. Gotta have some standards after all. Just the same, we're gonna stomp you to the ground.
Now let us get started. Tizo. May. win. Very well. Commence.
Shit.
Another banishment. Barker's on time out. The Nightwings make their mark upon the flame. Oof. Spectacular! The orb engulfed in fire. This is the path to glory. Glorious.
Really gonna make us work for this. Is that right, mates? Well then, we got our work cut out for us. Yeah.
Sublime. Wherever did the Nightwings go?
They took a nap. At a bad time.
Shame. There. A blow against the adversary's pyre. Your victory's at hand. Poor Headwind. Your pyre suffers. Now to the flame. Banished, one and all. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail. Perfectly agreeable performance overall. The ceremony is complete.
Oh, what happened back there, mates? I'll have your hides for this.
The rites do tend to teach something of trust. A flash of inspiration for next time. Understanding deepens in the mind of the imp Tizo.
What do we want? I want additional damage.
Until the stars align.
I think Tizo's gonna be the one I end up filling out. Back at the wagon after defeating the dissidents rather soundly, you are about to join the others discussing the outcome when Valfred finds you. Good work back there, though I'm afraid I must pull you away from any revelry, for there is something you should see. Please join me outside. Look forth. The golden star reveals itself to us once more. Indeed, somewhere deep in the infinite dark, a single star shines brighter than the rest. The path to freedom reveals itself again. Nice. I guess... No, it looks like it expects you to definitely go there right away when it occurs. The rites are calling you again to the fall of Solium, where one among you may go free, should you prevail. It is as we discussed, the cycle of the rites is beginning to turn more quickly. Perhaps the scribes themselves have taken notice. Fortunately, having more frequent opportunities to free ourselves is not unwelcome to our plan. I suppose it's good for everyone, including the Essence, who will oppose us next. Ah, the harps. Yeah. Getting to Mount Elodiel ought to be a little easier than before, at least. We should be able to make landing near to some of the old monuments to the scribes. Let us set forth at dawn. Soon everyone is off to rest, as best as they are able, knowing that another chance at liberty for one of them shall soon present itself. Oh, 3 pages. Stars shine strange beneath the sea. This one dared rise from the waters so that he could see them plain, the burning essences of those who came before. Our lives are but a quest to join the stars. This one longed to be the brightest, but in the downside this one met those whose own stars shall doubtless burn at least as hot. Together we achieved great deeds. You may have seen some evidence of it, the remains of the greater titans, which once darkened this dark land, but in our kinship was the strength to conquer them. It is this one's humble charge to chronicle those deeds, and may the titan stars never stain the sky during your time. Indriga the Widow. Oh, okay, so I get pages if I do the Titan stars from the sounds of it. The boundless sea of Solace and a blackened star are all of what remains of the Blood Titan Indriga. After this one's exile, he was joined by many of his bravest Worm Knights, who awakened the Blood Titan inadvertently while searching the downside's murky depths. Indriga was most displeased to see her hibernation end, and vowed to 4 ages of torment on us and on our sea dominion. Our assault was grander than can be described, and lasted days and days and days. The noblest of Worm Knights fell upon her massive form as waves which dashed themselves against the rocks. Our resolve eventually exceeded hers, and she collapsed into the seas and disappeared. This one alone remained to tell of it. I myself, Hayub, did form the dissidents under this simple tenet: those who do not belong, belong. The other scribes, some of them showed at first reluctance to allow an imp, and one accursed, to designate one of the 9 triumvirates, but Mur, the Horned One, stubborn as he was, stood by my side. In time they came to understand, for I remained, as ever, at their side, a living bit of proof of their absurdity. The dissidents are an extension of my oddity. Those who do not adhere, they are not to be discarded, underestimated, or dismissed. They are as necessary as those against whom they rebel. Nice. Aw, Tizo. We'll find Tizo there in the black wagon, looking rather more despondent than usual. When you attempt to reach out to him, he barely acknowledges you. Tizo indicates that he wishes to be left alone right now. You almost run into May as you turn to leave. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. I was just wanting to check on little Tizo there. I think maybe he's taken ill or something. On further inspection, it occurs to you that May perhaps is not off the mark and that Tizo is unwell for some reason. Come on, Tizo, you're gonna be alright. You might be the smallest one of us, but I think you're the toughest. Though Miss Jordiel, I think she's very tough as well. Tizo appreciates the kind words, but still wishes to be left alone at this time. Oh, don't be silly, Tizo. You know I won't be doing that, don't you? May turns to you for a moment, lowering her voice. I think Tizo would like a little bit of privacy if you don't mind. Though I don't mean to be rude. It's just Tizo, well, I told him not to eat something. There was this, well, I think it was a mushroom maybe, growing in the corner over there. So I see Tizo sniffing at it, and he's always hungry, and usually I try to feed him, but this time I told him no. Because I know my mushrooms, and whatever that was, I think it was a mushroom. But it wasn't one I know. Well, Tizo ate it anyway. Tizo corroborates May's recollection of what happened. So I think he is, gonna cough it up, I guess, any moment now. Because when I ate things I thought were mushrooms around here, I coughed them up as well. They made me rather sick, kind of like Tizo over there. I hope that I'm not being inappropriate, because it's not polite, maybe? Oh, come to think of it, Tizo, why don't we go outside? Because then I won't have to clean up after you, like the last time when you ate something I said maybe you shouldn't. Remember? Tizo indicates he remembers full well and regrets not heeding May's food-related counsel. Oh, don't worry, silly. If you've taken ill, then I think you're going to be fine. Once you have a little walk outside with me, because you're tough. Tizo's beginning to look better already. You're my best friend, Tizo. I won't let anything bad happen to you. Or at least I'll try, okay? I don't think anyone could stop you from eating things, though. Then she snatches Tizo up in her arms and whisks him out of the way with her. You hear her call back to you over her shoulder. Bye. I'll make sure that Tizo is alright, I promise, okay? Although the prospect of May administering medical assistance normally would give you pause, Tizo seemed to accompany her willingly enough. The two have shared a rather close bond since May first made contact with the group. For someone like her, who has lived alone for so long, the friendship must be vital. And as for Tizo, he must be impressed that a non-native of the downside seems to know her way around food safety even better than he. Okay, Headwind shall gain favor from the scribes if we land here. Tizo shall gain favor from the scribes if we land here. You make landing on the sacred-bound Alodiel, upon whose summit the next liberation rite shall soon take place. You wonder who among you may regain his or her freedom this time. Bulfred finds you after the post-flight inspection. We shall have to take the rest of the trip to Fall of Solium by land. May we soon liberate another of our own there. That should raise the chances of our plan. What are we at? 30%? Later that day, you accompany Tizo into the sublime grandeur of Emperor's Ascent, where a monument to Triesta Tithys awaits you. Perhaps due to the nature of this place, you begin to sense Tizo's inner thoughts as clear as if he were speaking aloud. Hello again, old friend. I hope the stars are comforting to you. These Nightwings are as strong of spirit as I have seen. Please look after them. Soon you and he are finished paying your respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Triesta Tithys has shown you favor. At dawn, you shall begin your ascent. For now, the solitude here is fit for you pursuing your vocations. Ooh, Tizo gained +2 quickness. Observe Tizo rummaging about the black wagon as though in search of something. Hopefully not another mushroom. He notices you there and rushes up to greet you. Glad you are here. He was just reminiscing about old times. But just as quickly, he resumes his search. He's looking for something a former exile of the Nightwings once gave him. He is growing frustrated that the object he seeks is nowhere to be found. You almost do not notice the lone minstrel's approach. I'm afraid that is gone, Tizo. I'm very sorry. Reader, is nothing that ought to be cause for much concern, merely that Tizo has misplaced something of sentimental value to him. It was just a spare bandage, he indicates, exactly like the one on his horn. Oh. Tizo here has had many adventures with the Nightwings. Is that not so, Tizo? He squawks in approval. Those memories shall always stay with you. Is that not what matters most of all? He confirms this as well. Then please do not worry yourself about it anymore. It is a symbol of a distant past, besides. Tizo skulks away up into the rafters. The lone minstrel watches him go. The object that he seeks does not exist, reader. Tizo searches for it from a fleeting memory of his days with the Nightwings of the past. He performed the regular duties of other drive imps at first, but soon distinguished himself. I was none too surprised. He was clearly special. He had grown close with the other members of the Nightwings when misfortune fell, and the triumvirate fell apart. Perhaps Volfred has revealed to you more of the details. As for Tizo, I feel he must make peace with the shadows of his past somehow. Perhaps then he shall cease searching. You need not worry for him, of course. He's resilient and shall always serve the Nightwings well. You might say that he was born for it. The little minstrel excuses himself in his polite way, leaving you to consider what he said. Alright, if we go here, Jodariel will gain favor, Demetha will gain favor. We're gonna go here. On the way to the summit, you pass a monument to Luce Glorian, and Jodariel happens to take notice. You scribes, I do not believe that you can hear me. Perhaps all of this is but a joke to you. If so, then do not tamper the feelings of my comrades. I shall not forgive you if you do. She says little after paying her respects. However, as you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that Luce Glorian has shown you favor. +2 presence. You and your companions gather once more at the Scribe's Gate, where a single narrow trail leads upward toward the summit, past an archway carved of stone. Come this way, please. The minstrel leads you toward the archway, where his counterpart awaits. The exiles and the Nightwings have returned. They have. Greetings, Celeste. She all but ignores him and motions to the rest of you. Now then, each of you in turn, please state your name and what it is you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. Everyone steps forth, one after another, much like before. May passes through the gate. Sir Gilman passes through the gate. All pass through the gate. No one is left to go but you. You step forth and declare yourself as you did before. The guardian of Scribe's Gate regards you with a still expression. Then she addresses all of you in her formal manner. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome. Go forth with glory. The lone minstrel glances up at the gate guardian. You have our gratitude, Celeste. But she pays him no heed. Again, you gain the top of Mount Alodiel, from which the downside sprawls before you. You wonder whether one among you shall soon follow Ruki from this place. From the top of Mount Olodil, the downside may be seen in its entirety, or at least felt, since so much of the land is shrouded, but that is hardly all. Through a wondrous miracle, there lies upon this highest mountain an inverted fall, whose waters crash not toward the sea, but rush towards the heavens. We speculate these are the very waters which delivered us, but now bend backward, seeking their return, as do we all. In this phenomenon, can freedom be achieved, but only for the chosen, when the time is right? This is a path to freedom we cannot transverse, but shall leave open for you, so that you may strive for it. Bear banishes an adversary by aura casting. An aura burst may occur 20%. Cannot be used by harps or saps. The time has come for your second liberation rite to commence. You observe the lone minstrel and Vulfred speaking in hushed tones, but cannot sense the topic or the tone. Then Vulfred looks up to you. I trust that you're feeling as prepared as possible. Each rite is consequential to our journey in its own respect. Through these liberation rites have a more immediate effect. It's somewhat crass, however. I've gone and estimated how much each of our companions may contribute to the outcome of our plan, should they be liberated here. Factors such as their previous occupation, innate tendency to lead, and oratory skill contributed to my assessment. It's nothing personal, for we are all in this together. Besides, we ought to return in time if possible. Now, simply that for each one of us who goes, in doing so, he or she shall raise our total chances of success. This night you shall confront the Essence. They are already appointed to Mitha to be liberated, should they manage to prevail. We all have faith in you, and lo, even the stars agree on this account. So this one's lit up because I've done it once. We have a new one, where the adversary shall automatically gain plus 30. I don't think we're gonna do... Or is this active? Ah, it's active. Okay. Now we're gonna turn that off for this one. I guess I can have multiples active? Kind of sounds like fun.
The Nightwings have returned unto the fall of Solium, at which the scribes first formed their sacred union. At stake this night is freedom and prosperity. But only for one exile who prevails in this liberation rite. Your many adversaries all did strive to earn this opportunity. 'Twas the Essence which earned it. Who shall be absolved is up to all of you.
Pyre's burn in each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. Tamitha swoops down from somewhere and unfastens her mask. I'm known as Tamitha Thane. I mean to return to my ancestral home and promptly resume my responsibilities as flight tactician. Neat. Our long stalemate against the Commonwealth shall soon be ended. Should I and several of my sisters manage to rejoin our clan, then our vengeance shall be swift and thorough. Your quarrel with that country that cast you into exiles beneath the notice of the scribes. Here you shall be judged under the stars. My quarrel with the Commonwealth is all that gave me and my sister strength enough to reach this point. The scribes ought well to take heed of how many my people suffered. We are not weaklings anymore, like your Triestatitis. We shall not fall in line with flightless fools in their naked attempts to subsume our heritage, our culture. Speak not again thus of the saint, or you shall be expelled. Tamitha scoffs, then turns her attention toward your side. And Nightwings, as for you, the fury we shall imminently show is nothing in comparison to the hatred growing for your commonwealth. She signals to her sisters to ready themselves. You seek your freedom, but there shall be nothing save for devastation should you manage to return. Blah, blah.
Who would you set free?
Yeah, we're gonna... Oh. Interesting, you consider yourself unworthy. Alright. I think we can send out Hedwyn.
Who shall stand with him? Nay. Tizo.
Tizo seemed very determined to support Hedwyn.
It is done. Commence.
Celebration rite continues. You sense Pamitha reaching out to you, or perhaps just reaching out to anyone at all. Someone, please. Let her prevail, please. And this makes me a traitor, so be it, but please let Tamitha prevail, for she is here, wrapped up in all of this because of me. The plea trails off, and Pamitha remains steadfast, all her attention focused on the liberation rite, and as for Tamitha, she's angry and yelling. Hark now, my sisters. Damn what the book says. Advance to strike formation. Prevail here against those wretches, no matter the cost. In disregard for the ways of the rights, Tamitha has ordered her team to push further afield, adopting an even more aggressive stance for the remainder of this rite. Alright.
Edwin doused the adversary's flames. Perhaps you are worthy. the sacred law. Once more like that, and we are finished here. That one almost got through. And there it is, at last. The Nightwings proved their worth. Rather convincingly, I must admit. Thus ends the liberation rite. And thus, the scribes have chosen. The exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds. Return to glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
The three most level are worthy? That's good to know. Damn you for this, Pamitha. All of this because of you. We did it. Then I guess that means I have to go. Yes, that is what that means. I broke my vow to her that we should all go free together. Reader, my friend, why would you do this? Will you ever forgive me? Fikani, wait for me. Someone for whom Hedwyn cares for deeply. He remains silent for a moment longer, then... Listen to me, all of you. I will not forget this. If there is anything at all that I can do back on the other side to help the rest of you, then I'm going to find it, and I'm going to do it. And at the very least, I will do everything I can to make sure that by the time more of you come to join me back at home, that it will be a better place for all of us. Look, I don't have long now, so just thank you, all of you. I won't forget this. Then he plunges out of sight into the shimmer pool. His voice is audible, but growing faint.
Godspeed, Hedwyn. The 8 scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may soon commence again.
Pyre Asuntia?
Yeah, I think we're gonna want the sprint and jump without using stamina.
The 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours.
Well, Pamitha, truly did you get the best of me again? Know that your actions put our sisters on the other side in even greater peril. Not that you care, of course, yet I am certain that they shall someday prevail with or without my aid. To think that I was born to share blood of someone such as you. You returned to the wagon after having prevailed against the essence in Liberation Rite. I had a good feeling this would happen. Teaser is pleased that Hedwyn is finally free. You succeeded in liberating Hedwyn, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. We did what we could. With each Liberation Rite, we strive to advance our plan, which is now at 38%. A brighter future awaits at the end of our path. For now, we must persevere. Speaking of which, reader, I take it you have seen the stars, or I should say, the lack thereof. You have, or did. Once more, the sky is all abysmal darkness. Following the Liberation Rite, no stars illuminate themselves to guide you further on your path. Then let us go once more to Moonlight Alcove. I have an errand I must run. Besides, once we arrive, best we recover now and make our way southward at first light. The winged members of the Essence, each chosen by the matriarch Teresa Tethys, are living exemplars of liberty and piety. Would that my wings could be thus. Once you, of course, must know we all had wings. It is said the people of the Empire relinquished theirs, drawn in by earthly matters, as they were. But the harps, such as Teresa, held tight the liberty their plumage could afford. These divergent paths did cause a share of differences between the winged and the wingless over time. But here in this land, our purposes are shared, our goals united. That, then, is the essence. That is who they are and what and why. Mercy is the beating heart of a truly free society. Mercy even for the perpetrators of the darkest deeds. As our liege Solia Mur drifted in an ocean of regret, he found their mercy, or rather it found him, and it saved his life. Mercy, freedom, they are intertwined. A society which raises a clenched fist against its own shall follow the doomed path of the Empire's Tsar. Ours shall be a merciful society. May the perpetrators of the darkest deeds be sent to join us here, where they may learn as we have. Mercy shall engender union among all of our different kind. We shall stand shoulder to shoulder, equals in the same society. Following Hedwyn's liberation, you find Vulfred smoking at his pipe, his eyes averted. He looks up and smiles as you approach. Excellent work back there. Thank you for your perseverance. Though, I was just reflecting on how very fortunate I've been in all of this. Not just me, but really all of us who had a chance to stand with Hedwyn there. Ours is admittedly a somewhat desperate plan. It was vital to me, should the Nightwings rise again, that it be under proper care and guidance. I was just thinking how well Hedwyn served in that capacity. Whatever is to be the outcome of all this, no doubt his presence shall be missed. My agents and I were unsure of him at first, a common boy like that, completely unacquainted with the rights. But in the end, I felt that he was worth a shot. Someone like him, sincere, determined, with loyal friends, and desperate to get home. Those qualities spoke volumes. Then he falls silent for a time. I have every faith that he shall strive on our behalf now in the Commonwealth, and it is my hope that he yet finds the one he sought. You and Vulfred speak little more of Hedwyn for now. You're left wondering what shall become of him in the Commonwealth. Well, I mean, I expect the game might tell us through a carrier goblin at some point. You once again find yourself amid the hidden splendors of Moonlight Alcove. Here you can await the time until the stars deign to shine for you again. Well, I guess we'll bide our time. We return to a place of respite. Please make yourselves comfortable such as you can. We are at the mercy of the stars, but I expect they shall shine bright again in time. I shall return, for I've got something to do. There, from atop the sacred mountain, you gaze down into the abyss that is the downside. You wonder when the stars shall align themselves once more. Once more you wait the night the stars begin to shine again. The plan of which you are all a part is set in motion. The Commonwealth, a nation that stood almost for 1,000 years, is in turmoil. If your companions return there through the liberation rites, what sort of place shall they be coming back to? Many moons pass. One evening, amid a downpour, with no interest whatsoever in relenting, Vulfred requests everyone to convene. You understand he has an announcement of some sort. Soon everyone is assembled, and Vulfred regards the group. Everyone! There's an aspect of our plan which I've not talked about with you. Look around at your companions. What do you see in them? He lets the question hang a moment in the air. I'll tell you what I see in all of you, in all of us. I see in all of us a living vision of the 8 scribes themselves, each one among them hailing from the different tribes which later formed our Commonwealth. My observation does not come from pompousness, I think, Rather, I believe the scribes themselves desired, or shall I say desire, such a course. Together they created all this ceremony, of which we're now a part. The exiles, liberated through their rites, went on to found the Commonwealth, based on their values and their teachings. Thus, an instrumental aspect of our plan is to embody the spirit and the culture from which the Commonwealth arose so many centuries ago. That way, when we are all united on the other side in solidarity, the people all shall see that we reflect the values they yet cherish in their hearts, not merely our own. Anyway, we are still missing one key representative on behalf of Molten Melith. And I happen to know a certain bog dweller who I think shall fit the part most splendidly indeed. He motions for someone to approach. Oh, it's you. Certain bog dweller slithers forward. You recognize her straight away. It's my pleasure to introduce you to a dear old friend of mine, whom I believe you've met. Welcome to the Nightwings, Bertrude. The bog dweller called Big Bertrude utters something guttural by way of greeting. You are to understand that ye require further aid from us. Yes, dear Bertrude, the time has come. Bertrude here is far and away the most accomplished alchemist whom I have ever met. You soon will find that she knows much about the rites as well. Bertrude looks at you and your fellow exiles each in turn. We frighten ye, apparent. Everyone is silent as Bertrude searches their expressions. Then tremble, small ones, and hold well thy tongues, lest we remove them. She takes her leave without another word. Please excuse Bertrude's blunt manner. I guarantee she shall more than make up for it. Everyone disperses, and it seems now that the ranks of the Nightwings are complete. Yay! Now then, perhaps you notice that the stars are bright once more up there behind those stubborn rains, meaning it is time that we got back to business. Indeed, once more several stars shine bright with the cold and storming sky. Okay, so we've got blue. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this was the dude that we fought during the first liberation, right? You know what? Let's go check that out. One you should confront this time around shall be the Tempers, led by the demon called Ignarius. They have prevailed in the rites on many occasions in the past. The Lone Minstrel then offers you such details as he knows of your next adversary. Ignarius, a longtime resident of the Downside, as evidenced by his appearance, the strongest of the Tempers. He has waited years to earn his freedom. Born to a middling Commonwealth family, he got into trouble early and often, but found his calling in the Commonwealth's not entirely legal red light district. There he took many jobs, mostly involving his sheer size. Most notably, he was a bouncer at the Starry 8 Tavern, where he came to symbolize its reputation. One day, a particularly belligerent guest got under his skin, so he gave him a tremendous thrashing. The club clientele all gave a cheer. However, this guest turned out to be a wealthy chamberlain, who then exploited his connections to have Ignarius arrested and then exiled. This was 14 years ago. In the Downside, Ignarius dropped his given name, as it is sometimes the custom, and survived alone through his tenacity and strength. In time, he drew the notice of the Tempers, who revealed to him the rites, recruited him into their ranks, and let him work his way up. Now, at last, it is his turn. Other than the Nightwings, the Tempers have liberated more exiles than any other group. They had high hopes for Ignarius in turn. Oh. You wish a good night to the Lone Minstrel. Your travels shall continue at first light. Oh, we found the other section of the book that we hadn't unlocked yet. Rites of Flame. With these blackened nails do I hereby inscribe the rites of flames. The bylaws shall be written here in full. We, the Eight, decree the rites attest of one's true worth in body, mind, and spirit. Now until the stars abandon us, this shall be binding law within the downside. Those deemed worthy in the rites are to regain their freedom from the downside and return from whence they came. Exiles shall conduct the rites as one of the 9 triumvirates, and look toward the stars for guidance of their path. Exiles shall bear this book as status. The essential structure of a rite shall be as follows. Where chosen by the stars within the dark of night, shall 2 triumvirates stand in opposition, far enough afield, beside their consecrated pyres, symbolizing their resolve. In each triumvirate, the 3 shall act as one, to demonstrate their trust in one another, not just in themselves. Triumvirates shall endeavor to extinguish the pyre of their adversary, whose flames are only to be staunched through a celestial orb descended from the stars. Whosever pyre remains burning shall prevail. The triumvirates are to disperse. We, the 8, have seen the turning of the stars from now until the ending of our age. He their guidance and ours. The stars take many cyclic turns. The rites commence at their behest upon celestial landmarks, where downside's greater titans fell before the heavens. Bearing this book bestowed on your triumvirate, you, the reader, shall perceive under which stars you are to congregate. Follow where they lead, as your adversary shall. If either of you fails to appear, then neither of you walks the path. Whether you prevail or you fail, from that point the stars shall guide you on. The rite shall not commence unless the necessary preparations are complete at a celestial landmark, ere the stars align. Exiles shall conduct the rites bearing the book, of which there are but 40 copies. Oh, interesting. Limited run series, huh? Each bound in astral hide. Exiles shall wear the sacred raiments fashioned in our likeness at the summit of Mount Alodil. Their identities are to be concealed, for they shall represent us all. Exiles shall set a metal sigil for their pyre, and consecrate the grounds using the words, "The 8 scribes gave their freedoms, that we may yet have ours." The heavens shall respond when all is set. During the rite, each triumvirate shall act as one, unerringly and without question. The disobedient shall suffer banishment or permanent expulsion. Exiles shall move as of a single mind, to demonstrate their faith, and recognize that they, as we the 8, cannot prevail alone. Their worth shall be determined both by their actions and their peers. Triumvirates lacking experience in this may designate a reader, whose focus on this book may help the or others to coordinate. However, only those who shall conduct the rites firsthand shall walk the path toward enlightenment and become eligible to regain their freedom. At the appointed time, at the aligning of the stars, the heavens shall rain down upon the ground sufficiently prepared, and thus the 2 opposing pyres shall be set ablaze. Thus shall commence the rite. Triumvirates are to protect their pyres as they would their lifeblood. Lifeblood itself is never to be shed before, during, or after any rite, lest the disobeyer suffer permanent expulsion. Exile is injury enough. The rite is an act of mercy. I wonder if that means we're going to find somebody who disobeys at some point. Fear not the purifying flame. Plunge into it headlong and without fear, for you shall be protected by the stars themselves. Seek freedom in the flame. Exiles bearing the raiments in this book reveal their hidden inner aura in the color of their flame. The aura is the exile's solitary weapon in the rites. Should one's adversary cross one's aura, the adversary shall be banished. Banishment is fleeting nothingness. Seek the pyre's light, and thus make your return. The exile's presence shapes the aura. Exiles gain greater auras while standing side by side with their triumvirates, for we gain strength together. Exiles may cast their aura through sheer force of focus on this book. As the 2 flames are lit, so shall the celestial orb fall from the heavens. But one such orb shall be veiled by the stars, requiring triumvirates to vie for it. Its cosmic connection to the flames, the raiments, and this book bestows the necessary qualities for its bearer to prevail. Effortlessly sails the orb between the three and a triumvirate. It seeks the grasp of whosoever acts among the three. Once grasped, the orb shall draw within it all the bearer's aura, fueled by the triumvirate's own flame. It is to be cast into the flame. We've seen what happens? I don't remember that, but... In each rite we gain enlightenment, whether we prevail or we fail. Indeed, though, through failure do we tend to learn the most valued lessons, provided we survive. None among us have prevailed without end. Exiles who walk the path toward enlightenment shall, at times, be struck by an epiphany and achieve mastery in some respect. Choose well amongst these blessings we bestow. Thus you may yet achieve your potential and surpass your adversaries. Whenever you prevail, your triumvirate earns favor. In time, the triumvirate with the most favor shall be summoned to the liberation rite to earn a chance at freedom. Then the cycle shall begin anew. The liberation rite takes place upon the fall of Solium, under a blooded moon, witnessed by the heralds from the stars. There the most favored triumvirate shall confront the one which we appoint. Those two triumvirates first shall pass through Scribe's Gate, where their worth shall be assessed under the stars. Only the most enlightened exiles within each triumvirate may be anointed for a chance at freedom. 2 of their companions shall support them whilst they strive. The anointed champion of the triumvirate, which prevails, then shall plunge into the shimmer pool and return in glory. Oh, we got so many pages there. I guess we don't have to unlock anything, it's just... because there's nothing else. Prevail over adversaries, conduct liberation rites, prevail under Titan stars, celestial landmarks, different regions, spend money. I think we're done with the first part and forward. You find Big Gertrude looking about the black wagon in a disapproving way. She fixes her gaze on you. Her expression does not change. Such a clutter added to this wagon since we looked upon it last. Unsightly. Remember thee from our abode in flagging hands. Then thou must be the breeding one to whom Sandalwood referred. She moves in close, studying you. You recall that the mere touch of a bog crone of the southern bogs can induce paralysis or worse. That one such as thee can extract meaning from that tomb. 'Twas a feat we wish to witness for ourselves. Thy flesh has seen but the smallest fraction of the years which ours withstood, and yet we are expected to believe that thou canst understand the Book of Rites. Then she backs away, for someone else has joined you. Hail, Gertrude. Is everything to your liking at this time, or is there anything more which you require? We have been unable to locate a supply of rotworm gizzard extract among thy belongings. Other than that, we shall lodge no complaint at present. It is possible that Volfred has a small supply among his possessions here. If you would care to accompany me, we may yet procure some. That would be agreeable with us. Then after you. As they depart, you think you see the lone minstrel nod his head your way. Gertrude's decks. Unusual etched cards depicting the greater titans. Probably river curses, enchantments. Nobody knows, it's probably tarot. You rise early that morning, though Gertrude is already awake. She scowls at you. Good morning, reader. Gertrude, I trust your stay has been not too uncomfortable? Nay, Sandalwood, the comforts of this place are not for us. Fly us forth from here, to lower ground. Let us get on with all of this. The reader here shall do so, once the group is ready. I thank you for your patience. Oh, I can run into people. I was wondering about that. Oh, my beautiful wagon, what has happened? Oh, but it is you, my wonderful night wings. Come to play a little trick on your good friend Manly, hum. Oh, how very, very clever of you. And the damage you have caused my beautiful waken, doubtless it is very, very minimal. Fear not, I can afford repairs, it is no inconvenience at all, although I do have one request of you to make amends, that is. Why, next we face each other in a right, and I trust you know what I shall ask of you, but would you be kind enough to stand aside and let the chastity prevail? Then we shall call it even, and when I return into the Commonwealth, I shall see to it that you or your loved ones there are suitably rewarded. I didn't know you could bump into them. I wanted to test that. You can hear the angry hissing coming from Udmilt, all the way from your position. Okay. Yonder lies the ridge of Goal, somewhat less imposing when viewed from this vantage point. The mists of the downside hold that it is no mere ridge of stone, but the remains of Lord Grandroth, once slain by Golgothathianian himself. Though perhaps such tales are a little import now when you stand to confront the Tempers here. I'm gonna go to Hollowroot. Go to Blooming Pool. I think we've been to Hollowroot before. Let's go here. You make a successful landing in Downside Prairie, near the southern edge of the Downside. Memories of having first met Hedwyn, Jodariel, and Ruki come flooding back. You now should have some time in the vicinity before continuing onward toward the Ridge of Goal by land. The Downside is connected to our realm via a single artery, the river named for our prestigious sap colleague, Luce Calorian. That river gushes into seeming nothingness. That seeming nothingness turns out, of course, to be the Downside. Its existence undermines thousands of years of thought about the composition of our world. The Downside's southern edge we call the Sandfolds. It is a desecrated wasteland speaking well to this land's lack of hospitality. Here the strength of many who survived the river journey finally fails. If only they could clamber further north, where lies the verdant Downside Prairie, a better place to perish, to be sure. Balfred is poring over a copy of the Books of Rights as you approach. He looks up at you and smiles. The Road to Freedom, written in a book that hardly anyone believes exists, and fewer still can read and comprehend. Sometimes I marvel how absurd all of this is. Tell me something, though. I've spent so much time considering the book, but known so few with whom I could discuss it in such detail. You've had some time to turn through it by now, so what do you think? Worth all the fuss? I mean, it is a little tedious. I'm gonna tell him I find it tedious. You admit to Volfred the contents of the book can be quite tedious to you. He laughs rather heartily at this. Be sure never to say such things within earshot of the lone minstrel or his counterpart, though a little blasphemy offends me not. I have a different view of it myself and find its contents rather fascinating. A portrait of an ancient time, a record of an age thought lost. But yes, it can be dense in spots. He puts away his copy of the book with care. It is amazing that these volumes have survived for all this time, I think. Whatever they are made of has withstood the ravaging effects of time quite well. And the ideas there contained, they remain rather provocative as well. To think that the Commonwealth disavows of the existence of this book, despite official recognition of the 8 scribes. although the reasons why are in there, written plain. How fascinating that its secrets have been kept for all this time. Anyway, you'll have to excuse me for my extracurricular interests in its teachings. I used to teach a version of its history. To have access to the real thing has brought me small pleasure. Let us be certain to preserve these volumes for whomever shall be next to use them. He turns his attention to other matters and bids you a good afternoon. And it's nice to see some people being good about books. Together with Pamitha, you venture forth into the lonesome lands of Blooming Pool to ensure the path is clear and check for anything of value. I don't think I've ever get used to all this traveling by land. You sense Pamitha's spirit lighten to some extent. The survey is brief and uneventful, leaving you with time enough to pursue your vacations. Oh, +1 hope for you. Let's see, I think I just have one more. Yeah. You look up to see the lone minstrel there. You had not noticed him. He looks up at you with his strange eyes, a color not unlike the bindings of the book, and he smiles at you faintly. A moment passes, and he turns to go about his business. He leaves you there. You realize you are clutching the Book of Rites to your chest. You manage to pull away. Yeah. I see we're going here. New page. The Serpent Titan Gandroth turned to brittle stone not long after his death, of that you may be certain. What remains is a flat, elevated basin that stands up closer to the heavens. Upon the fallen Gradoth's hide, the stars themselves alight, and you shall know you stand on sacred ground. We set the metal sigils, lit the candle flames, and we emblazoned on the rock-like forms the sigil of our passage to and from this land. And then the stars themselves, they did reply to us. They sang, shining bright, their voices loud and clear. We understood their cadence, and we knew how often to return. Pamitha is staring out the window. Miss flying. Take it from me, it feels as good as you'd expect. And it's not enough for those Commonwealth brutes to cast us down here. If they can get their fingers on us, they make sure we never fly again as we once did. All while calling it an act of mercy. Let me ask you something. You've learned a thing or two. What have your studies taught you of my kind? Oh, well, technically we know about the common ancestry. You understand that long ago there was only one tribe. They flew together and conquered the known world, but some of their descendants were born different. These wingless ones had little choice but to tend the land with their hands of flesh. Over time, the wingless were disavowed, abandoned. It was said that they were born under dark stars. In time they formed the Empire, and they fought back. Not all the winged and wingless were at odds, and famous harps such as Saint Triestatius proved kinship could be possible. Nonetheless, old hatreds are not easily oh shoot, how do you pronounce this word again? Assuaged. Oh, I don't see that word very often. This is fairly accurate to our account of things. So in a manner, you yourself are sister to me. That's correct? Oh, good. Thank you. My kind certainly aren't known for their good sense of humor. I can tell you that. My little tongue got me into no small amount of difficulty till I learned to keep it well under control. The mountains I come from, the views there certainly are something, but there's a bleakness to it, too, being surrounded only by those consumed by the desire to avenge. We're very proud like that. Everybody vying to be the strongest, to kill the most of you. That way we might just get a shot with the prince. Continue the line, if he even exists. Your understanding is that the males of the harp are all gone, though perhaps one remains. They mate as poison spiders do, and would slay each other in their sleep. Okay. Imagine that being the best case scenario. She shakes her head. Anyway, I was just thinking I rather enjoy the traveling we've done. The change of scenery does me some good. Perhaps I'll stick to wandering after all this. In fact, I've fancy for some wandering right now, if you'll excuse me. She heads out of the wagon into the untamed reaches of the downside prairie. Store. Oh. Headwind's gone, I might as well sell his stuff. I don't want that though. This isn't worth a lot. If I sell you this, I don't really use it. So that I can take this later class. Yeah, okay, is this one. Once I too roamed free. I remember well those days in which I was called chief. I traveled all the world over on my 4 good paws, and I was well adored. I wanted to grow stronger. Here at last I have. I shall not mince my words. This place shall either harden you or kill you. It shall haunt you with old memories. You share the exile's plight. My charge is to alleviate the sting of it for you a little bit, and to prolong your stay, but only for as long as needed. Your charge is to return. We call this place the downside for a reason, but in time, here you can learn to eat, to seek out shelter, and to find a certain beauty in unlikely places. Alright. Typically, Jadariel is always among the first to start making preparations for the rites, just as soon as you arrive amid such places as the untamed reaches of the Ridge of Gold. This time, however, she does not assist the others. She has not even donned the raiments. Your concern is noted, reader, but it is misplaced. It is only that the one we are to face this time, Ignarius. We denied his liberty before. It seems almost cruel to set him further back. How absurd that I should even care. It is simply that I seldom to see those with features similar to mine, those who have survived here long enough to earn their horns. I shall go now to prepare. Soon it is nightfall and the stars begin to shine. Ooh, another new star. Adversaries each have +8 quickness. Wow. Some of these seem rough.
The much-vaunted reader has returned, and it would appear her ranks grow stronger. Consorting with the bog-crone Bertrude, are we?
Well, not on
How
purpose.
very strange
Although I'm
that
sure
you
she's great.
befriended her.
I don't know her very well.
Your adversaries in this fight shall be the Tempers. Put out their flame and walk the path to liberty.
Hey, well, if it isn't Curly Horns, surprised they didn't let you out already. Not that I'm complaining, was hoping I'd run into you again. See, when you've been stuck in here for about 14 years, Not that I'm counting or anything. You gain some appreciation for the simple stuff, you know? Bit of a cool breeze, a solid meal. Anyway, it's good to see you all in one piece. Daryl removes her mask and stares at him. Why are you doing this? We have a right to conduct. Yeah, well, I've conducted a lot of rights, you know. Got a lot of good it's done for me. Yet, here you are again. Yeah, anyway. He throws back on his mask. Guess we better get things started. Our kind, we got a reputation to uphold. Jadariel watches him for several moments, then rejoins the group. Hold a moment, reader. The crone Bertrude slithers forth, wearing the raiments of the rights. Now that Bertrude is among our ranks, it would be best if you became familiar with her repertoire. You have no obligation to make use of her abilities, of course. Good Bertrude, please show the reader something of your aptitude. We expect that shall be soon inclined to bring our sorceries to bear. Long have we studied these rights of thine. Let us show thee what we know of them thus far.
The bog crone Bertrude shows herself in full.
Okay, I mean,
Now,
we've
have
fought
to
a couple of
wonder
these.
what
Whoa.
became of her accomplices. Of one accomplice in particular.
It's quite the jump.
You watch yourself around her, reader. None are sentenced into exile without sufficient cause.
Ooh, Slithering's kind of neat. Alright. And, oh yeah, the multi-blast. That's actually probably quite useful, to be honest. Sufficient cause. Being on a statue is a good point. Ah! Now then, reading 1, know that our freedom is of little consequence to us. We side with ye because of Sandalwood, because of his plan. We're at 38% success. We shall aid ye in the rights, and we shall aid ye in that plan. Thus, we are at thy disposal and await thy bidding. He does have kind of a fun moveset. Our adversary, Ignarius, his heart is not in this. We should be able to prevail against him without difficulty.
Now let us get started. Tizo. Jodariel.
And... yeah, okay, maybe we'll take you too. Oh, wait, yeah, let's get you something. Let's give you the new one.
Bertrude. It is done.
Since adversary is giving away to feelings, we have the advantage. How dare! Bring it on then, Nightwings. Let us see you beat me again.
Begin. Already does your adversary's flame begin to flicker. Oh.
No, right. Got a fast little snake. Forgot. Ain't half bad, the curly horns, you know. Shame we're on opposite sides like this. Back home, I would have just walked up and bought us both a drink. I would have punched you in the mouth. Ignarius laughs heartily at this. That's what I like about you, curly horns. You hate my guts as much as I do. Now come on, let's see you stomp on me more like you just did with the Nightwings.
Oh, the fading glory of the great Ignarius. These days, he is nothing but an aging brute. The orb has left your clutches. Banished all of them. How utterly brazen. Let's see you Nightwings keep this up. Huh.
Come on. Pick it up, I dare you.
You haven't. Empire shan't survive much more of that. Good. Oh. Their aim was true, and thus your pyre wanes. Oof! Ferocity unbridled. Oh, boo. Spectacularly done. Now take it. And it is done. The Nightwings prevail. Mayhap the scribe shall simply smite them down next time. The rite is complete.
Well, Curly Horns, what can I tell you? Guess you Nightwings still got a spring in your step. Especially Tizo. Tizo's very springy. Well, you could have prevailed. Why did you hold back? You really want to know there? Indulge me. Sure. You free tomorrow night? Jadariel scoffs at this. She dons her mask. Then she turns and walks away from him without another word. Ignarius simply stands and stares. Damn.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes. The ancient crone called Bertrude opened up her eyes.
Alright, what do we have? When Bertrude's Pyre has less fire than the adversary, she deals an additional 5 damage. Or while Bertrude's Pyre has more than the adversary, she deals... Wait, are those the same? Oh no, when you use more. Okay. Charge up time... Arcs at a wide area. After instantly recovers stamina. Uses 50% less stamina and moves 30% more quickly. I think we're gonna go with this one.
The secrets of the Wild Witch revealed. Until the next rite.
Huh? Someone's there, sneaking around? Show yourself already. She stands there for a moment saying nothing. Then, this was a mistake. She leaves him just as soon as she arrived. Hey, hold up. Curly Horns, wait. She keeps him waiting there. Ignarius just shakes his head. And he keeps waiting, for there is little else for him there in the downside. He keeps waiting, but not for very long. Not for very long. Aw. After vanquishing the Tempers with ease, you return to the wagon to find Volfred and the lone minstrel in the midst of conversation. Most strange that this one star should be illuminated now. This is not what I expected. Nor I, Volfred, sir. Then Volfred notices you there. Reader, Tarkrick, and I observed a strange occurrence in the sky is all. It appears that the star of Calmer Rope Collar is illuminated now. It is but another star, except our models and predictions of the cosmos did not anticipate this. Anyway, go see for yourself. I shall make the wagon ready in the meantime. You see only a single shining star illuminated far above. It is just as Volfred indicated. Then we are summoned to the Isle of Calmer, deep within the deathless tempest. Have you been there before, Tarek? So long ago I scarce recall the time, only the scent. It is the place from whence the creatures native to this land sprang forth. Reader, let's not concern ourselves with superstitions held about that place. We'll set forth at dawn, and soon see for ourselves what to make of it. Alright, normally I'd like to go for like another 45 minutes, but I think between streaming yesterday and today, my voice is going to give out. So I'm going to call it a little early. Maybe next time I do 2 streams back to back, I will pick a different game. Alright. How long has this person been up? That's quite a long time. What about you? That also looks like someone who might end soon. Alright. I'm gonna send you to Adam? I mean, it's listed as Let's Know, but I think he's doing a bonus Tekken thing because of the time. Yeah, Pyre's talky heavy, which I don't mind. I don't mind doing the visual novel style thing. I like to read everything out when I can, but yeah, it's getting the best of my voice. So I'm gonna send you all over to the Loading Ready Run. And I will see you probably next week. I think. I wonder why they have follower or subscriber only chat. That's unusual. Alright. I will see y'all later. Take care. Say hi to Adam. Be good.